understand this. It's the paradigm that's causing the problem. You can think, oh,
check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this card. You ready? All right,
a Y-type thought, which is totally different than the X-type conditioning. It isn't going to go anywhere. Because when you go to get emotionally involved, and this is the emotional mind, when you go to get emotionally involved with that Y-type thought, the paradigm will kick it out. You know why? It's so uncomfortable. That's stepping out of the box. That's doing things different. And we don't like to do things different because it causes a lot of discomfort. But understand this, the paradigm and the thinking control the vibration you're in. And the vibration you're in is going to dictate what you attract. People that are in a poverty consciousness will continue to attract lack and limitation. It has nothing to do with this, what's going on here. This is your educated mind, and you can gather all kinds of information. Have you ever wondered why some people have such an educated mind? They have degrees coming right off the end of their business card, but it doesn't show up in their results. Why? Paradigm. The law of attraction. You've got to change this. You've got to change the vibration you're in, and your whole world changes. Listen, in 1961, a man gave me this book, and he said, do exactly what I tell you. He was giving me Y-type ideas. It caused an enormous amount of discomfort, but I did exactly what he said. You know something? My income went from 4,000 to 175,000 a year, and then I took it over $1 million. It took me 9.5 years to figure out what happened. This is what I'm showing you. Watch this over and over and over again. There's a number of lessons in it. And another lesson, I'm going to show you how to change the paradigm. When you change the paradigm, the change in results is automatic. You know why? You start to attract something different. And what we want to do is program in positive information and eliminate the negative. I'm going to show you how to do that. Law of attraction. You attract according to the vibration. This thing we live in is a molecular structure. Your body is a mass of energy. Do you know if you put your body in front of an infrared television camera in a completely dark room, your whole being would be nothing but a glistening, radiating, gleaming form? Feeling is conscious awareness of the vibration we're in. When we don't feel good, we're in a negative vibration. You want to feel good? Move into a positive vibration. Stop and think about what you're grateful for. But understand this, you will never attract to you wealth, happiness, health, until you get the paradigm, get you on that frequency. It's Bob Proctor, thank you. See, people don't resist change. People resist being changed.
Yes.
We've got to change ourselves. We've got to build a new image, a picture in our mind. We've got to see ourselves the way we want to be, and then we have to live with it. You go to the gym workout, that's what you do. You build a picture of how you want to see this arm, and you build that picture, and then you build the body. Well, you build the life in your mind. Take your pen and write out how you want to live. And always start by writing, I'm so happy and grateful now that. And the second you write it, you've got it intellectually. The moment you impress it upon your emotional mind, you've got it emotionally. And it's only a period of time till it manifests on the physical plane. Yeah. Spirit works from a higher to a lower potential. Habits. Good habits will give you results that stick. Bad habits will destroy everything. I have.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Can you guys hear me?
Good morning, Louis.
How are you guys feeling?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How was everyone's weekend? You guys did good this weekend? I'm hoping.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I think we're going to start in just a minute or two. We've got a bunch of agents still jumping on right now. So yeah, last week was a big week for me. I came back with a lot of information, a lot of good stuff for you guys. I met an impressive amount of people who are doing just amazing things within the EXP organization and within real estate and in their own business. And I took away so many nuggets of information that I think are real game changers. I mean, for me at least, and I'm sure for a lot of you who are on the same path as me, who are looking for the next level and always looking to grow and push yourselves. I learned so much, and I'll give you a couple of my takeaways today. But before I do, let me know out there who's got some wins, who wants to share some stories, who wants to tell us anything that they might have encountered over the weekend or last week, or maybe any issues or problems they might be having.
Louis,
Yes.
I'm sorry, did I cut off somebody?
Oh, it's okay. You got the stage. Go for it. And then the person will go right next. Just don't forget what you were going to say, other person.
Good morning, Louis.
Hey, how's it going, Sarah? Thank you
Good,
for being here
good.
with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm always happy to be here. This is my favorite Zoom.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Anyway, we're proud.
Thank you. So I've been showing my clients unlisted because this is the only way to get them in and see stuff that they love. There is one unlisted that I want to show. It's exactly what my client wants, but this house, I know the owner, and the house had flooded back in October.
Yeah.
It's not in a flood zone, but Edam got a lot of people flood. So I don't know, would you show it to your own friend? Like, would you be comfortable selling your friend something that flooded, but it's not in a flood zone, but it flooded because Edam made a lot of people flood?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of homes that that never flooded before flooded with, one of the recent hurricanes that we've had in the last few years. So, you can't really, let me just give you an example. I own a house in the mountains in New Jersey, and you never would think that, a house in the mountains would get any water. But with this last storm that we had, I forget the name of it. Was it Ida or Ida? I'm not sure if that was
Edam.
what we had. Okay. Yeah. That last hurricane we had, I was getting water into my garage, and I'm in the mountain. So just because a house has gotten water doesn't mean it's likely to get water while they're living there for the next 5 or 10 years. But what I would do is exactly what you're doing right now, telling us about it, tell her about it, or tell your client about it and say, listen, there's this house I think would be really good for you, but I do have to warn you, it did get water during the last hurricane. And I'm not saying it'll happen again, and it's not in a flood zone, but I would recommend, if you do look at it, I would recommend that you do get flood insurance. And if there is anything, if we're getting a hurricane in the forecast, I suggest you don't keep anything very valuable in the basement because, it might be gone. Now, I know in this market, we have to keep, everything has to be an option. Everything has to be on the table. If this was 2-3 years ago, then I would say there's enough homes out there for you to find them something else. But in this market, if they've already been around the block and they haven't been able to find anything for quite some time, I would say just bring it up and see how they feel about it. But at the end of the day, just make sure that you disclose that like very, very, how would I say, very clearly, and also follow it up with an email saying, just to recap our conversation, this house that I'm going to show you, I just want to remind you in the event that you forget or get it mixed up with another address, this home was in a flood. And I need you to understand that it's not in a flood zone, but it doesn't mean it won't flood. Along with any other house you buy, just because they're not in flood zones, don't mean that they're not prone to getting water in the basement or even water into the first floor.
Thank you so much.
No problem. How about you guys? What do you think? How would you handle that situation?
I would do the same thing, and maybe my question will clarify if you can just add on to it, Louis.
Yes.
I was with a client yesterday. He wants to put a home on an offer that's in a flood zone rated 8 AE in Florida, which means that there's a 1% chance that it will flood, and there's a 26% chance that it will flood once in a 30-year mortgage. And he wants to go ahead with it, even though he may have to pay flood insurance. So as long as he's aware of that, I'm okay, right?
Yeah, well, Florida's a different animal. I'm not sure if Sarasota, but I know we're so coastal that it's rare to find a home that's not in a flood zone. At least in Naples it is. It's very rare to find anything that has got some grade to it. In Sarasota, it might be somewhat similar, right near the water, but
This is Port Charlotte. So
Port
it's
Charlotte, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume like most of Florida is completely flat. So if you're in Port Charlotte, and right in the name, it's telling you it's around water. I think that's just something that he's going to have to accept it. The homes are going to be in flood zones. And if it's in one of those flood zone areas, it's probably going to be cheaper than some of the other locations that I've seen. You know, people are paying $3,000, $4,000 a year in flood insurance. I'm not sure what it would be there, but it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's not cheap. I mean, our taxes are cheap, but then you got flood insurance. A lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah. So Sarah, my opinion would be, as long as they're aware of it, I would agree with what Louis just said. Thanks.
Thank you, Brent.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a good lesson for any of you who have clients that are moving to Florida and they're like, oh, I want to move to Florida. Taxes are a lot cheaper. Taxes may be cheaper, but you've got flood insurance and you've got homeowners insurance that is actually more expensive than it is in Jersey. So for a lot of people, they don't realize that, and you know, they think they're just going to come down here and live a less expensive life. Well, first of all, home prices have gone up so high that I think they're probably much on par or even higher than parts of Jersey. And then you've got all these other factors that you have to deal with as well. So it's quickly becoming very expensive for people to move into Florida, or I don't know about any other states, because I don't do much business outside of Florida and Jersey, but I'm pretty sure the prices have gone up tremendously everywhere, and insurance prices have gone up everywhere. Anyone else want to add or give us any wins before we get started today?
I'll share when I
go for it.
sold a home. I got a contract just this morning to sell it.
Nice.
And I have another buyer that wants to put a contract in today. So those are big wins for me.
So you showed a property to a client over the weekend and they made an offer?
I showed a property. I showed 5 properties yesterday, and he wants me to write up an offer and submit it to this morning.
Mhm.
And on Saturday evening, I listed a property to sell, and got a contract yesterday and going to sign it and accept the offer today.
That's amazing. How much is the home price?
The home price is $265,
Okay,
and it's a cash offer. So very happy with that.
good for you, brother. Good for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, good. Guys, don't be shy. If you want to share something, go ahead and share it.
I teamed up with my title company and my lender,
Hmm.
and I'm today. My postcards will be going out in Milltown. I'm gonna hit 400 homes.
Nice, 400 homes. That's amazing. Now, were you sending out just solos, just listeds, or something else?
Nope, I'm just sending hello. I'm your neighbor. You can call me for real estate or a cup of sugar.
Oh, look at that. Okay, very nice. And by the way, you know, I can get your home sold for top dollar. You know, so that's good. That's awesome. A lot of us don't do that, and I'm guilty. I lived in a very nice neighborhood in New Jersey, and I didn't really let all my neighbors know. I let my immediate neighbors know what I did and what I was up to. You know, and they were always constantly, you know, talking to me about the market, but I didn't tell everyone on my block, and that's something I regret. And if I were to get a chance all over again to do it all over again, I would literally just walk up and down the block with my kids and just hand out business cards and introduce myself. But, you know, the introvert in me kind of always says, oh, I don't want to bother them, or they're probably too busy, or they're probably mean. You know, these are all the negative thoughts that we put into our head. And, you know, and I made it a priority to myself to never talk myself out of talking to anyone again. As a matter of fact, my goal after coming back from this weekend is that every day in person, I have to meet 3 new people in person, not over the phone, not by email, but in person. I have to meet 3 new people. And that means shaking hands, exchanging names, and exchanging business card. So that is my goal for now on. So hopefully that works for you guys as well.
Where are you gonna meet them?
I'm leaving. I'm going out. I'm working from outside, working from coffee shops, at my, you know, my daughter's events, parks, anywhere. Like for instance, yesterday I went to the dog park and introduced myself to 2 people at the dog park. You know, so just anywhere, it doesn't matter. Supermarket, anywhere you go. You know what? And the thing is that, like, oh, how do you break the ice? You know, how do you start a conversation? So the first thing that I do to start a conversation is I compliment someone immediately. So this lady yesterday had this really cool gun. It was it was at the dog park. She had like it picks up the tennis ball, it sucks in the tennis ball, and it acts like a slingshot, and it shoots the ball further than anyone can throw it. So the dogs go crazy, they go nuts. So I was like, I went right up to her. I was like, that's the coolest thing I have ever seen. And then she got into a whole conversation about it, where she got it, about her puppy, about her, you know, now it's a dog. And I'm like, okay, so I just dove directly into her sweet spot, her dog. A lot of people, they love their animals, they love their kids, they love things like that. So right away, you just got to compliment people. Like if you see someone with a cool shirt, some cool sneakers, some cool shoes, purse, car, anything, just compliment them. Some people are very dry, so don't take it personal. You might say to someone, wow, that's a beautiful car. Thanks.
Morning, folks.
Yeah, there's many of them in Jersey.
Yeah. And that might be the case, but what I'm saying is don't take it personal. It's just that some people are even more introverted than you are. Okay. So it's not, don't take it as if, don't take it as if, oh, this person doesn't like me. It's just your job to try that much harder. Give me a second, guys. I have to. All right, sorry about it. Yeah, don't take it personal. Just know that person is probably more introverted than you are, and you might have to be the one to carry that conversation. I've had people before, like for instance, there was this guy. This is so funny. At the event in Cabo this week, there was a guy on stage with his wife, and this guy was a firecracker. He was very personable, very well spoken, and on stage, him and his wife said, "You know what? But you guys see us up here, but we're both introverts." Now, there's no way that this guy is more introverted than me. There's no way. And I saw the guy afterwards in the gym on several occasions. The first day I saw him, I said, "Hey, man, you did a really good job up there. And, you're well spoken. That was an amazing presentation you did." You know what he said? "Thanks." And I'm like, this guy is an introvert. He really,
heck?
right? And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then we even worked out at the same machine, like for 3 sets, and he didn't say a word to me. I'm like, okay. I was amazing.
Give us a name.
Yeah.
Give us a name.
His name is Gil, but I mean, you could tell he's a good guy. He's a family man. He's a good person. He's just a very introvert. So then I see him another day, and I said, "Hey, man, good morning. How's it going?" "Good." I'm like, "What?" And then, like, there's no way. So, long story short, don't take it personal. Some people are just very introverted, and you got to carry the conversation. Now, if you keep asking questions and they're being very closed off to you, then obviously maybe you want to wrap that one up. But at the same time, like it's okay if someone is cold at first. Just try to carry the conversation. But this is not what this is about. What this is about today is I just want to kind of cover some of the notes and some of the ideas that I learned last week. And I want to ask you guys, what do you think? I want to hear your perspective on any of these principles or any of these lessons that I've learned. So before we get started with that, has anyone ever done that? Gone up to a complete stranger and just started a conversation, and either they were like their next best friend, or maybe the person was very cold and shun you off. Does anyone have a story that they can share with us recently? I know Brent's great at this. So Brent can have stories for days.
Well, I don't have a particular story, but that is, my kids say, "Dad, just please don't talk to those people."
We got to stop you from talking to people. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, I can talk to anyone.
Yeah, you got
I
to
don't have it.
You got to
Yeah, I don't have any problem. But I always start it with the joke though.
a joke. That's good.
Yeah.
How much
Like
did the polar bear weigh?
I don't know. Yesterday we were at ShopRite,
Mhm.
and one of the managers came up to the girl, the cashier, and asked her. She said, "Can you work till 9 o'clock today?" And then the girl was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Are you serious? That's it? You're not gonna ask for a cup of coffee or anything?"
Mhm.
And she was like, "Was I supposed to?" And I'm like, and then the manager looked at me and she was like, "I'll get her coffee." I'm like, "Good. See, I got you a deal."
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. You're just, and this is something that we all have to work on, right? This is something I'm going to be working on. Something I think all of you should challenge yourselves to is, how can I show up better? Sarah's energy is so contagious. She's very attractive in the way she speaks to people. You guys have to learn from even people like her. She may not be in real estate 20 years, but you know what? Her attitude is very contagious. So you may want to take a book from her page, along with Brent. Brent is also amazing. I don't know if you guys know, but Brent has dedicated most of his life to God's work, to Jesus. He was a pastor. So his job was to be very sociable to people, to attract people to his congregation, to talk to people about Jesus. So there's a lot of people on this call who you can tap into, and they might not even know how they do it. They just do it because it's natural to them. but you may just want to try to like pick up on little nuances that they do. Or maybe they have little tips on how, hey, how do you talk to someone you don't know? How do you keep a conversation going? You know, these are important things for us to always keep in mind, because as long as we're alive, we're in sales. No matter what you may do for a living, as long as you're alive, all of your life is all about sales. Whether you're selling your kids on eating their vegetables, you're selling your boss and giving you a raise, you're selling your clients and giving you the listing, you're selling someone and joining your team, there's always a sale going on. There is never not a sale going on. So I learned from people like Hamudi, he's on this call, he can't go anywhere without people just like gravitating to him. So a lot of us don't have this inherently. So we have to pick it up and learn from other people. There's ways you can do it. You can read books, you can watch videos, you can see how you can work on your charisma, your energy, your character. A lot of things out there you can take in person, such as Toastmasters. You learn to be a better speaker, learn how to start conversations. You can join an improv class. An improv class is something where you can learn how to do comedy or speak on the drop of a dime without having any prepared materials. You know, those are things that some of us may have to work on. But it doesn't come easy, and it shouldn't, because if it was easy, then this whole world, everyone would be the same type of person. So you have to work into that. So one of the things that I picked up, and I'm going to start, it's probably going to take us a couple of weeks to go through all my notes, but there's a lot of great stuff, and I want to share this with you. So one of the things that was shared, and I think it was Brent Gove who shared this, he said, enthusiasm on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Enthusiasm on fire is better than knowledge on ice. So enthusiasm, for a lot of us, may mean different things. Enthusiasm doesn't mean like you got to, you know, jump out of the window and start going crazy. Enthusiasm just has to me at least, and you guys can tell me how you feel. Enthusiasm for me is basically falling in love with what you do, or falling in love with who you are, or falling in love with your business model, whatever it may be, or your service. You know, why should someone list their home with you? Be enthusiastic about it, because I am the best person for the job. There is no one who is going to do a better job than me. And if you're enthusiastic and people see that, people are going to also want a piece of whatever you're having. But if you have all this knowledge, you might be the most skilled, the most read real estate agent in the world, but you are on ice, which means that you do not share that information with anyone and you do not speak to anyone about it. That's worthless. You might as well not even be in real estate. There was a time where I was a loan officer, and I didn't understand how this was possible. And, you know, obviously fast forward some years and I got it. But I used to work with a guy named Kyle. Kyle was a processor. Kyle was a person who knew all about mortgages. And you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? It was Kyle and it was this other guy. I can't even remember his name. That's how mundane he was. It was Kyle and this other guy. They were two male processors. And I'm thinking, you know, processors are usually women. Processors are usually, you know, women because they're more organized. But Kyle and this other guy, they knew so much about mortgages. They would be able to tell you every condition. They'd be able to tell you every overlay, every rate. They had it memorized backwards and forwards. And I always ask myself, why are they processors and why are they not loan officers? Because everybody knows loan officers are the ones that make the money. Processors are basically on salary and maybe they get a bonus every time a deal closes. And then I realized that they had all the information, but they didn't know how to sell. They didn't know how to communicate with people that weren't in their office. They didn't know how to convey that information in a setting where it was uncomfortable, but they knew everything. So fast forward to what I'm explaining to you now is that all of this information that you may have is worthless unless you're putting it into work. Action, exactly. Action, you know, 99% knowledge and 1% action, or should you be 99% action and 1% knowledge? Because you can figure it out on the way, but if you never go on the way, you'll never reap the rewards. So that's the kind of message I took away from that. Enthusiasm on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Does anyone want to share anything on that? Because that was a very powerful statement that kind of really set the tone for the entire event. Hamoodi's on a call. Hamoodi, good morning,
Hey.
my brother.
Good morning. Good morning.
if you guys don't know, Hamoudi is he's my business partner. I learned one of the things I learned this week is not to call anyone your sponsor, your downline, or your upline. Everyone is your business partner. So Hamoudi is my business partner, and he is responsible for all of us being here, except for a few of us who joined without me. Thank you, Sarah.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So Hamoudi, what do you take away from this? Enthusiasm on fire is better than knowledge on ice.
You know, the way I look at it, I mean, you saw we have almost 1,300 agents went to bring the office event.
Yeah.
And we all sit down in this big room and we're all listening to the same person and we're all excited. The only thing is different is some of us, we go home, just forget about. We get excited, we take a trip to Cabo. And some of us, we are here on Monday and we're working on this thing.
Yes.
You know, it's just the action you're taking. And I'm a type of guy, it's like, I don't like to talk about too much. I like to do something about, you know. And I keep seeing everybody's quiet in the call. That's not good.
Yeah.
You guys need to be like talking about, I mean, don't be shy. I mean, share what do you think? I mean, we always learn from each other. I mean, like say, I mean, I got Micah. Let me tell you this. Micah, she got her real estate license before me.
Yes.
At this time, I'm a handyman at this time, like 9 years ago. And, you know, I talk to everyone. I don't care, you know. And one time I'm fixing a garage door and I'm talking to this guy and he's talking about his girlfriend. She living across the street. And I said, bro, why you don't live with your girlfriend? Why you guys have 2 houses? He said, I'm thinking about it. I want to sell the house. I said, hey, I can sell it for you.
Huh? And you didn't have a real estate license. That's
yeah, and a real estate license. Listen, I got the listing for Micah.
Mm-hmm.
The hustle is real.
I mean, just because I ask in an open conversation, hey, if you're not open conversation, it's no opportunity. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
No, I think the problem is people that try to make everything is perfect. Nothing is perfect. I mean, some people, they don't like my accent. Some people don't. I don't care about the people that don't. I care about the people that like, you know, the one I engage with. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. So can I ask you a question? And maybe a lot of people on this call will probably appreciate it. What do you do to have that type of magnetic personality when you talk to someone? How do you mentally prepare yourself to talking to someone or being in an environment where there's a lot of people you may not know?
You know, I'm always broke. I always have my mentality. I'm a broke. Every day I have to hustle. I don't care what it takes. You know, I never get comfortable, you know, because I've been before and I will never be broke again. You know, I always keep the energy. And it's really important, really, they have a one to keep you accountable in your life. Like for me and my wife, we keep ourselves accountable. Like today we started at 75 hard. I wake up so tired and she pushed me to do it. I already did my exercise. I hate reading. I read my first 10 pages for the last 10 years because I don't like to read. Yeah, I'm honest with you. I'm not shy about it. I mean, I don't like to read. I finished school because I don't like to read. Yeah. But today I read 10 pages this morning. I'm so proud of it. And now I'm on my way to take care of my other business. You need to find the partners, if it's wife, a husband, a friends, to keep you guys accountable, to continue growing. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely, man. So I like what he said there. He tells himself that he's always broke because I'm sure there's some pain there and there's some hardships there that when he was broke, there were certain things that he couldn't do. And maybe he felt like less than a provider because a man's role in a relationship and a family is to be able to provide. And in the event you can't provide, then you never want to go back there. So his pain is so big that whenever he shows up his best version, because he knows that if he's not his best version, well, that pain may come back. Do you guys agree? Is that what you guys are taking away from this?
Yes.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Right. Anyone else on that?
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to add, I'm not selfish anymore. I used to be really selfish before because when I saw my business, I care about, you know, I have a nice truck. I leave 8 o'clock. I come back home at 5 o'clock. I make $500 a week. I thought, wow, I'm on the top of the mountain. Like, hey, I can do whatever I want because, I'm just thinking about myself. I don't think about my wife. I don't think about my kids at this time. I thought I'm doing really great until one day I lost my job and make me think, really, I can do a lot more than this damn $500 a week. And this damn truck Dodge 19 something, I can't get me way nicer than this, but I have to change the way I think, the way I talk to people, everything. And now it's worth it for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Hamoudi, to me, he doesn't know this, but I watch him and I observe and I see what he does. And I see like, wow, if I can learn how to do what Hamoudi does, because a lot of the stuff that I know, Hamoudi doesn't know, and vice versa. A lot of stuff Hamoudi knows, I don't know. So I said, if I can learn his skill set, I will be that much better. So when you see someone that you're impressed with, don't just go to the default mode in your brain where, oh, I could never do that, or that person can only do that because of this, or I'm not this type of person. Like that's easy. That's a cop out. That's easy for anyone to do and say. But what if, instead of thinking that way, you can say, what is that person doing? What can I learn from that person so I can put my own version of that action or that mindset so I can become better, instead of thinking the opposite way. So Hamoudi, thank you for being the person you are. We're all lucky to have you and learn from you. And please keep coming back to these Monday calls. I'm sure everyone loves it.
I will be there every Monday. But, another thing I want to mention, we live here in Puerto Rico and people wish, and Gene probably every time he asking in the call, guys, if you need help, call me. He begging the people, call me for help.
Yes.
And I'm with this guys again, hey, everybody have my number, share my number. If you guys need help, call. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know what I'm doing with Gene? I meet him every Friday. We go smoke cigar and we are mind.
Can you slow down for a second, Hamoudi? Can you explain to them who Gene is and what type of an organization this man has?
All right. I know Gene for almost 6 years. We talked about our goal 6 years ago. Today, Gene, he's probably a #1 recruiting in the company. All right. I will discuss his number because I see it all the time. It's probably close to $1.7 million a month from revenue share.
Is he the smartest guy in the world?
No, he's the funniest guy in the world.
Yeah.
He's not the smartest guy in the world, trust me. But
he doesn't even know what his checkbook is, guys. He doesn't know anything, but he knows how to talk.
Yeah, we have the same mentality, guys. I don't even know how to check my account. What I care about, if I want to buy this car, I have the money to buy it. I'm not the one handling this stuff, because it takes too much of my brain. I just focus there. I just work and making money. How to spend it, I don't know. But Gene, the same thing. He's probably #1 or 2 in the company. He's 1.6, 1.7. He have almost 16,000 agents.
How many agents?
Around 15,000, 16,000 agents.
How many years has he been with EXP?
5 years.
He started with how many agents?
He started with 0.
Exactly.
By the way, Gene, he used to have 6 offices with Keller Williams, really profitable offices. And when he saw the opportunity, he decided to jump to EXP. And this is a really life-changing. And this is what happened to us. I mean, this is a great opportunity. I mean, I encourage everyone, if you go to this event, when you go to this event and you meet a lot of people over there and hear their story, it's a life-changing. It's not like $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 a month will not change your life. But this guy's, talking about big numbers, and I take him on this because he keep asking, guys, if you need help, let me help you. All right. And I take him on. I say, we meet every Friday. We go smoke cigar and we mastermind. Last time I went, me and Gene and Don Hobb. I don't know if you guys know Don Hobb, but he's a big coach of real estate. And around 11:30, Don Hobb, he said, hey, listen, I'm going to call Tony Robbins now. Imagine me sit down with this guy. He can call Tony Robbins 11:30 in the night. Say, hey, what's up, Tony? That's like crazy. It's possible. I thought before it's not possible, like crazy just to take a picture with Tony Robbins. Now we can jump on the call with Tony Robbins. And everyone can do it. I'm sharing my number here. If you guys have any question or you need help, Just ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, show up on Friday call. Friday call is really good. We don't miss any Friday call. I mean, Louis, if you want to share about Friday, they all should be show up over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna put that into the chat in just 1 second, guys. But what I also want to let you know is that I put his phone number in there too. And Hamoudi's not just saying this; he's really serious. If you guys are serious about your business and serious about growing your organization, he will answer your call. He is such a down to earth. Him and his wife are the most down to earth business partners I could have ever asked for, and so patient with me too, with all of all the you know, when I joined and with all the nonsense that comes along with bringing on the brokerage. And, you know, these people, I couldn't have asked for a better pair of people to partner up with. So take advantage of it. I don't know too many millionaires that'll pick up their phone and just say, oh yeah, of course, what do you need? So dig in his brain. And as long as you guys have, you know, obviously taking notes and taking something away from it, he won't mind at all. So yeah, and I'm also going to be putting in his mastermind for, well, he does a leadership organization mastermind every Friday. So if you're interested in growing your organization and being a leader, then please take advantage of that. I'm going to post it into the into the chat right now in a second. All right. Anyone else want to share from what Hamoudi has been talking about? Anybody want to give us their?
I would
really,
like, come on, guys, come on.
I really like what he said about nothing has to be perfect, just go for it. I always feel like fear can paralyze us.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Hamoudi.
Fear is
You're
yeah. Fear is definitely a biggest enemy.
Yeah,
guys,
I always try to talk to people like Hamoudi does, and that's just been in my nature because it is an opportunity where everyone you talk to, like for example, I bought a bird for the family the other day, and I'm talking to the owner of the guy that sold me the bird, and it's expensive. So I'm like thinking like, how the hell do I pay for this bird? Even though I got money, I still act like I'm broke, like he said. And the guy's like, oh, I want to sell my house. I'm like, because I told him about real estate. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay for this bird. I'm going to get this listing. I've been planting seeds with different agents about EXP. I had one brokerage that I talked with Lewis. They're not ready right now, and they're in
St. Louis.
St. Louis. And now I have another brokerage that I'm talking to in Staten Island. I should be talking to this guy today. And that came from, I'm trying to get this top producer from Remax, and he's just not ready yet. So I just remain friends with him. I smoke cigars with him. And his old broker was telling him about EXPs. Like, you got to call Harry. You got to call Harry. He's been trying to get me to come over. There's a lot of good things. I'm just not ready yet. So he put me in contact with him. And it's all from just conversations that I have with everyone. I did an open house with Jessica. She's on the call yesterday. I'm talking to everybody, and I'm showing people how, like, a lot of people don't want to do open houses. Open houses are opportunities for listings and buyers. I passed Jessica a buyer that's qualified up to 1.2 million. And he wants to put an offer in on the property. He's also an investor. He's got a ton of friends in Jersey City with a ton of money. Like I agree. Every conversation is an opportunity.
Harry,
And
I'm actually talking to him as we speak.
there you go.
Yeah.
So like every conversation is an opportunity for either a listing, a buyer. And then Jessica had an agent, and I was telling her as before people came in, you know, Jessica, you got to start telling people about EXP, start getting realtors over. And she's like, well, what if I don't have listings? I'm like, fuck listings. You don't need listings to tell people the model of EXP that's going to attract the agent that it makes sense for them. Within the next half hour, what happens? A Keller Williams guy comes in. She starts telling him about EXP. He gives her the card and says, I want to join EXP. So now Jessica's going to talk to her first recruit. So like every day is an opportunity when we talk to people. And I try to share that with my wife, because she's a lot more reserved with talking to people. And I say to her, look, I got this listing from the gym. Look, I got this guy from the fucking bird I bought. Like, just talk to everybody. Let people know what you're doing. So I totally agree with that every conversation is an opportunity. And then I'm just looking at it like, even if it doesn't happen right then and there, I just continue to plant seeds everywhere I go. And eventually they're gonna sprout one day, and I'll reap the benefits.
That's it, man. That's a mindset. That's exactly the mindset. Harry's another one. I mean, I've always used Harry as an example, and I'll do it again. When Harry can't even go and join a gym without knowing everyone within a few weeks. You know, it just, Harry, what do you say to yourself in your mind? What thought process goes through your mind when you enter a new environment that you don't know anyone in? Is there like, oh, I just want to meet everyone because I like people, or I just want to meet everyone because I want them to know what I do? Like, what is your process there? Like for Hamoudi, I feel like there was a lot of pain associated to not being, you know, the person that everyone knows or likes. What is it with you?
I think I just genuinely like to meet people and like to learn from people. Like, what do you do for a living? And then I start talking to someone in the gym that may, you know, everyone knows, and then they know this person, and then I'm talking to them, and then someone walks into the gym. Oh, this is my buddy Harry. Harry, meet Jim. Hey, Jim. Blah blah blah. And then we just keep going and going. So I'm at a gym now where, you know, people got a lot more money. So, you know, I'm meeting a lot more people that are tied up with different connections.
Yeah.
But I just look at it to just meet people and the opportunity to let them know what I do.
Yeah. Yep. That's amazing, bro. Because have you ever come across anyone that you've met at a place that has been like a complete like jerk, or has everyone pretty much been nice when you approach them?
I mean, there's been some people that shy off, and that's okay, and I leave it alone. They don't want to talk. That's fine.
Got it. See,
but then they usually warm up later. They're like, you know, hey, you know, so and so. Like I had a guy who acted a certain way, and I didn't resort back to the old ways of like, yo, who you think you're talking to, you know?
Yeah.
And I had the guy later come up to me and say, listen, I apologize. I've overheard other people talk about you. You're a really good guy. I apologize. The other day I was having a bad day. I'm like, it's all good, dude. My name's Harry. What's your name? And just became friends with him.
Yeah, that's good. That's amazing. But the vast majority of the people you've approached have been nice.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's yes, I can, baby. I could pick you up. Everyone that we meet, you know, human beings, who it's good to interact with people. And if you're genuinely serious about like, what do you do? You know, how do you get these results in the gym or whatever? People are genuinely want to share what they're up to. Yeah. I learned that at Landmark. I took a mindset course called Landmark Forum, and it's about, you got to let people know what you're up to. And people, as long as you're authentic, people want to know. Just don't be full of bullshit. Just be yourself. Yeah, just be yourself. Don't try to be too salesy as soon as you meet someone, right? Exactly. Your first conversation should be, hi, how you doing? I'm Harry. I sell houses. You know anybody who wants to buy or sell? Hey, right. I don't have to. It's already on my shirt, so I really don't even have to tell them. But I do mention it that if they ask me, what do you do for a living? And I tell them I'm an investor. I also sell homes, help people buy homes, have my own team, things like that. So they know what's up. And then if I can, I also friend request them on Facebook. So then I don't have to tell them every day. They see it every day what I'm doing. Yeah, there you go, man. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Harry. Would anyone
Harry
want to add on? Go ahead, Sophie.
Harry will meet you in a what is it, hot tub?
In a hot tub?
That's what he got.
His Speedos on. His paid team Speedos. All right. Enough fun for one day. Okay, so let me continue by saying this. Now, the next thing that you want to keep in mind that I learned at this seminar is such a powerful thing, and I never really thought about it, is that you always want to control the environment. Now, what does that actually mean in today's world? Like, controlling the environment in the old days used to mean you come to my office and you meet with me at my location. That's controlling the environment physically. Okay, that means that you're in control, you're in charge, and they know that because they're not in their element. But when you go to their house, how do you feel? And how does that person feel? Is that person the one that's empowered, or are you the one that's empowered? Right? Think about how your confidence and your attitude changes if somebody came to your office or you went to their house. Because does anyone want to kind of just volunteer real quick and tell us the obvious? Sarah, how would you feel as opposed to going to someone's house versus them coming to your house or your office? Where do you feel more empowered?
My house or my office.
Exactly. So that means if we can't control the environment physically, we have to control the environment mentally. How do we do that? So by controlling the environment means that you have to be the one that's in control of that conversation. You have to be the one that's asking the questions, not the one that's being probed. Because if I'm asking you 20 questions, Sarah, when were you born? Sarah, where were you born? Sarah, where were you on Friday the 13th last month? Sarah, like if I ask you these questions, you feel like you're being interrogated. You don't feel like you're in control, correct?
Yes.
Right. So it doesn't mean that you have to interrogate the other person, but instead of being the one asking, being asked all of the questions, you should formulate the questions that you want to ask to get the answers that you're looking for. Does that make sense to everyone?
100%.
You have to ask the questions that will lead to the answers you're looking for. And if you're not doing that, you're not in control of the conversation and you're not in control of the environment. As long as we can do that, and I actually fell victim to this over this weekend. It's so crazy. It happens sometimes without even realizing it. So if we want to be in control of the environment and maybe we're on a Zoom call, nobody's in control of it. You know, it might be your Zoom account, but it still doesn't mean that you own the room. Nowadays, we have to be really conscious of this because we're in a virtual world. And a lot of times we're working virtually and we're popping into coffee shops, we're going to people's houses. You know, it's not like it used to be where everyone has to come to our office for any type of contact. You know, now it's a lot of virtual things going on. So we have to learn how to create these environments where we're in control. So if you do not have like the go-to questions that get you the answers you're looking for, and, you know, we'll talk about what some of those questions may look like, you have to start with that. Start with that first, because if you don't start with the basics, you will be literally going to a gunfight with a knife. You know, it's really, there's no competition, because being out of your element, being out of your environment is uncomfortable enough to begin with. And not knowing when to say on top of that, or knowing how to lead a conversation, is the worst scenario for you as a business person. You know, forget real estate. This carries on to everything in life. If you want to get permits for your house and you walk into the building department at a city hall, who is in control there? It's the city hall, obviously. You know, they're not rolling out the red carpet for you and saying, "Hey guys, he's here," and everybody's clapping. Nobody cares who you are. You're like one of a million people who needs their permits. But if you can go into a situation like that, knowing that you're not in control, but having that mental discussion with yourself before getting into a conversation and saying, how can I get this person to give me the answers I'm looking for? How can I associate with these people for them to be on the same page as me? So, you know, no one can answer that for you. You have to figure those things out on your own. But when it comes to talking to someone about, you know, giving you their business or joining your team, I've been learning a lot. Just this last week, I learned so much about agent attraction and the type of calls and the type of questions that these top influencers ask. And I will be sharing that with you, not today. I actually have voice recordings. I actually did some role play with a gentleman who joined Exp Realty just like a little over a year ago, I believe. Maybe he's in a second year, but I think it's more like a year and change. Hamoudi, how long has Don been with EXP?
2 years.
2 years? Okay. 2 years, guys, with EXP. 800 people in his organization in 2 years. Now, that may not sound like a lot, because we just told you about Gene Fredericks, who's been in the company 5 or 6 years, and he has like 15,000 people? Yeah, something like that, right? But the thing is that it grows on top of each other, so it exponentially grows. So by the time this guy's in his 5th year, he might be at 20,000 people in his organization. So what I'm saying to you is that this gentleman used to own 30 Keller Williams, 30 offices for Keller Williams. And he made the time to actually do role playing with us. And I have his recording. Now, I'm only going to share that with you guys if you join us this Friday for our Freedom Master Call. If you guys are interested in growing a team, growing an organization, because I'm not going to bore everybody with it here, because some people just want to know how to sell more homes. Okay, we're talking. This is a mastermind that's just based on what everyone needs, which is learning how to be a better version of yourself. You guys are interested in that, make sure to follow the link this Friday. We do it at 11:30 every single Friday, and we're going to cover some of those role play scripts that we covered. All right, so with that being said, this person he's come up with a series of questions that he'll ask an agent to get the questions that to get the answers that he's looking for. You know, so for instance, if I'm walking into a house and I want to get the listing, what are some of the questions you can ask the seller to get the answers that you're looking for? Does anyone want to volunteer and give us some of the things that work for them? It could be a close, it could be an opener, it could be a conversation starter, it could be anything.
Can you give them a compliment about their home?
What was the question,
The
Louis?
question is, what kind of questions can you ask to be in control of the conversation? So if you're walking into someone's house and you want to get the listing, what are some of the questions you can ask to get the conversation flowing in the direction you want to eventually get the answers that you're looking for? So questions, Sarah. So how can you rephrase that into a question, Sarah, to get the answers you're looking for?
Your home is very beautiful. How long have you been here?
Okay, how long have you been here? Sarah, I've lived here 5 years and it's been great. And you know, we love our neighbors. It's just time for us to go.
Oh, very nice. Why are you selling?
Oh, well, you know, we need a bigger home because my wife is expecting and we need another bedroom.
Oh, very nice. How in a rush are you?
To be honest with you, she's due in September. So I'd like to get it done this summer.
Nice. Did you already find another home?
We have not. We actually just started the process just recently.
Very good, very good. You know, I can help you with the other side of the sale as well. But let's take a look at what we got here. Would you take me for a tour?
Absolutely. Come on, I'll show you around. Okay, so let me stop you right there, Sarah. So one of the things you asked there was, what's your timeline, right?
Yeah.
And I said September. And I said, okay, well, maybe a way you can actually use that information to kind of give you more of the answer you're looking for. Okay, so you're looking to move out of here by September. You want to get it done by the summer. Why is that important to you? Okay, maybe when you find an area that you know there's something there, you dig deeper, because the deeper you can dig, the more emotional they get. And when they get more emotional, they're yours. You understand? So
Yes.
let's try that again and try to dig deeper so I can give you deeper rooted answers and not just superficial answers that I'll give everyone. Okay. So Sarah, I'm thinking about moving in September. By September. I'm so sorry. My wife is doing September, so we're thinking we got to get this thing done this summer.
So you want to get the home ready before the summer to
Yeah,
put it up on the market?
We'd like to get it sold by the summer because we still we want to make some time that whatever place we buy, we want to make sure it's ready for when we move in as well before she's due.
I'm stuck.
Just say, why is that important to you?
Why is that important to you?
Well, you know what, the first kid we had, we weren't really prepared for it. And, we were kind of very much doing everything as, after the baby was born, we didn't know the sex. So we were kind of like, what color do we paint it? And it was a complete nightmare. So we just don't want to have to go through that. We want to just have everything ready. We want to make sure that we're not stressed because you don't want to see my wife when she's stressed.
That's a very good idea, Louis. You know what? I can help you with everything. I can give you a white glove service. Let's get the home ready. I have people that can come and clean some clutter.
Sarah.
No.
Sarah,
I'm
Sarah,
stuck.
don't talk to me. Have me talk to you. You have to be a better listener than a better talker.
Okay.
Okay, so
I've never had a listing
no
before.
problem. Get me to talk 95% of the time. And I
Okay.
just need you to keep asking the questions so I can keep giving you the answers to the questions that you really want answered. Okay.
Okay.
So I just told you, Sarah, we don't want to have to go through that because you don't want to see my wife when she's angry or when she's stressed out. So what would you say?
We don't want her to get stressed out. We want to make sure she's comfortable.
Rephrase that into a question.
Why would she be stressed out?
Question.
Start with why. Start with why. Say the same sentence, just begin with a why.
Why would she get stressed out?
You know what? Because she likes to have everything perfect. And if she doesn't get her way, I'm the one who usually has to pay for it, even though it's not my fault.
Okay. Well, we don't want that to happen.
No, absolutely not. We don't. Cue the crickets. Okay, so do you guys see where I'm going with this, right? Because if John, thank you for jumping in on that. And yeah, absolutely, because where we get held up is usually we feel like, okay, there cannot be any quiet time in a conversation, because the minute it gets quiet, it gets awkward, right? So we default to
That's
always
what you
talk.
want, though. That's what you want, though, right, Lou? You want it to get awkward so they start spilling more beans.
Absolutely, but it has to be led through questions. So if I stopped right there, Harry, what could you have said to me? It was like, oh, you know, you don't want to see my wife when she's stressed out because I'm the one who has to deal with it. And she usually takes it out on me, even though it's not my fault. Harry, how would you rephrase that answer I just gave you? How would you then combat that and continue having me talk even more?
I would probably say, listen, wait, rephrase the question.
Yeah. So you have to come up with a question to continue me going even deeper. And because the whole goal of this conversation is to meet.
So I think John hit the nail on the head. Is just keep asking why. They're gonna why would she feel like that? What would make her feel like that? Why would that stress her out so much? And then let them spill more.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. So yeah, start with why, like Simon Sinek says, always start with why. So keep that in mind when you're hearing this information.
Right. You know what's his name used to do all the time? That was good. He would just repeat what you just said. So that would make your wife stressed and then go on.
Yeah.
And
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And maybe sometimes you can do both, you know, rephrase what they said and then ask a deeper question. There's certain principles out there that say, you know, like you have to ask 7 whys before you get to the real deep rooted reason why someone is doing something. And it's funny when you ask why enough times, but obviously not in an interrogative manner. You guys have to become artists at this. You have to really practice this. And if you guys have not been taking the opportunity to do some role playing, please find someone, role play with them. Try this, you know, when no one is looking, because you get rewarded in public for what you do in private. And this is an opportunity for you guys to really say, oh, you know what, let me try that. Let me try controlling the environment instead of the environment controlling me being reactive, walking out of there like, what just happened? I don't even know what just happened. Being more intentional about your conversations versus being reactive. Okay. So try this. If you guys don't have anyone to role play with, like I said before, go to Workplace. In Facebook Workplace, there are groups for role playing. You can go into the groups for role playing and pick someone and just set up a time and do the role playing. So, John.
Louis, I have a question.
Yeah.
Before we go.
Yes.
So I went on a listing presentation this week from, cold calling. So
Yes.
me and the girl connected very well.
Congratulations.
However, she's in the process of refinancing. So she's torn between refinancing or selling. Mm-hmm. So I had a conversation with her and her husband yesterday. And I was basically saying, they have to make a decision on which one and why they would sell. And, and not refinance or refinance and not sell.
Yeah.
So I just want to know if you have any suggestions, because I'm supposed to follow up with her today. Uh-huh. Like, how can I, what else can I say?
Sure. Well, I would go ahead, Harry.
I was going to say, what is their motivation to sell? If they're thinking about refinancing, they want to stay put where they're at. If they're thinking about something like, oh, everything's motivation. Like, I won't just take the listing. I take a listing. Otherwise, you don't get what they want, or I'll just stay here. You got to figure everything's motivation. What's their motivation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because sometimes they don't even really know what the outcome is going to be for their decision process. They just think they know. So real quick, Harry, why don't you role play that with Tammy and you can ask her motivation. Let's see if we can learn something from you too.
So Tammy, you said you wanted to refinance. You're in between refinancing and selling, correct?
Yes, I was refinancing to get a lower rate.
Okay. So you're thinking about staying put here, so you're comfortable here?
I'm not really sure. Last year I was looking to move, but when I tried to get my pre-approval, because of the income, it didn't pre-approve me enough. So I'm not sure, but I really want to move, but I'm just, I know it's going to be hard trying to relocate when it's time to buy because the market is hot.
Okay, so your dilemma is that you really want to sell because you would. Can someone mute themselves? It's hard to do this.
I'm sorry, that was my phone.
All right, cool. So your dilemma is that you really want to sell and move, but your concern is the income, correct?
The income and also finding a new place because I know, the houses are up now.
9 to 10.
So I work with a mortgage lender who does a cash for keys program where the mortgage company buys it cash so you can secure the house. What if I could show you that I can get you the house first, have the mortgage company buy it, they'll hold it with up to 6 months, and then your house will sell fast. It's located in Union County, right?
Yes.
So the house is gone. I already know that as long as we price it.
I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. I said that to her and that's exactly what she said. I'm not interested in that.
And why?
So then,
Yeah,
so then I don't think her motivation is there. If she's not interested, she's not really interested in selling that. Because someone that's interested in selling and getting out of where they're out of, they're going to be interested in solutions.
Exactly. I agree. So I'm going to bring that up to her again today.
So Tammy, can I suggest something to you?
Yes.
So I would suggest don't try to just get the listing. Say, listen, I'm here to help, but if your motivation really isn't there, where like I brought up a program that can secure the house for you and you're not interested in those things, maybe you're really not interested in selling.
Exactly.
And
And
then
that's pretty
ask
much
her,
what I told her. Yeah. But go ahead.
As like Lewis said, that it's going to take 7 whys to really get to it. So who really knows her motivation? You really got to get to that core. And if she, you might get to that 7th why and she'll be like, well, Tammy, it was kind of like one of those things. Like if I got the number for my house that was like crazy enough, and I got like if I got like the buy and it was low enough, I would do it. And that's not the world we're living in today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty
Size
much.
her up. Don't be afraid to lose the listing. If it's not for you,
No. Trust me, I'm that Harry. Like me and her, I told her she got to figure out what's best for her. I'm not trying to list nobody who motivation ain't high because it's a waste of time. I've learned that already. Yeah. But I told her she got to figure out which one is best for her. Either way, I'm fine if you want to refinance and stay there. But I just want to see how I can help you if you want to sell. But like you said, I'm going to go back to the program that I initially talked to her about, because that was like in our first conversation. I think that then I was able to give her more value and make her understand the difference between refinancing and doing both, where she had to pay 2 closings and she's starting to trust me a little more. So
Tammy, let me ask you a question. Did you get the lender on the phone with her?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's my next step, is to get the lender, because the person that she refinancing with, she really don't I don't know how she met him, and she just felt like she was screenshotting me everything he was saying to her, and she was a little annoyed with him. So I was just trying to build more rapport and let her do most of the stuff, most of the talking. And I was just trying to listen. So today I'm gonna call her back with more solutions. I'm gonna revisit the Annie Mac program with her and refer her to the lender to talk more about that as well.
Yeah. Tammy, just find out why she's not interested in it. Find out what her preconception is of it, because a lot of times people don't understand what they're saying no to.
Exactly, because she did cut me off and was like, no, I'm not interested in giving up my home.
Got it. Yeah,
so
just
I
find
didn't
out.
want to go more on it myself. I'd rather the lender go into more details with it.
I wonder if she's scared to commit, then it becomes real, because then the bank will get her the house and now she's got to put her house up for sale.
Yeah.
Like, is that too real for her?
Yeah.
If she's really not that motivated to really go forward.
Yeah, find out what her goals are. Find out what her real goals are, what she's really looking to do.
Okay.
The more you know, the better equipped you'll be. Okay, so great meeting, guys. I just want to share a couple of things with you before we all go. This is what I want to tell you guys. I read a book, or I think I have an audio book. It's called Building an Empire. Amazing book, especially for us who are trying to build organizations. Amazing book. You guys can get it on. Audible. It's called Building an Empire. In that book, this gentleman talks about that when you go to a company event, you will see other people around you, and at the next event, half of those people that you saw at that first event will attend the next event. And then so on and so forth. Every time they go to another event, half of those people will be at the next event, and half of those people will be at the next event, along with some new people. But what he also mentioned is that every time that you return or every time you attend these events, your income will also go up by a magnitude. And the reason why is because when you go to these things, you're reignited. You're reminded as to why you're doing what you're doing, and you're rubbing elbows with people who are doing way more than you, and they're firing you up. So what I'm explaining to you guys right now is that at Exp Realty, we have corporate and non-corporate events that we do multiple times a year. And I'm not telling you guys that you have to go to every one. I'm just telling you guys that your chances of succeeding and your income will go up according to how many of these events you attend. And you guys think I'm full of it. I am not. Believe me, the same faces that I see at these events every time are the ones that are putting up the big numbers. If you go to the gym once a month, you're not going to be putting up big numbers. You go to the gym every day and you see the same characters there, they're putting up some massive weight. It's the same principle as what I'm talking to you about right now. So with that being said, I just want to share a couple of events that are coming up within the next few months and that I think you guys should consider and really take into consideration. Let me see. The first one that I want to share with you is, where is it? Sorry, let me just get this thing out of my way. Is this it? Okay, we got Build 22 coming up. This is going to be on August 23rd in Dallas. You guys see my screen right now, right?
Yes.
All right, great. So the keynote speaker is going to be Tony Robbins. So if you guys have never seen Tony Robbins in person before, this alone is a reason to go. Because if you've never seen Tony in person, that should be on everyone's bucket list. It's literally life-changing to watch this man speak in person. You think he's powerful on YouTube or on some of his infomercials? There is no experience that you can really compare it to as watching Tony speak in person. Okay, so please make sure that you put this one on your calendar. If you cannot attend this one, but you have people in your group or in your organization, make sure that you let them know about this. Or if there's someone that you want to attract to the company who are still kind of like on the fence and wishy-washy, use this event to invite them to. If you guys are awkward about attracting, don't attract, just invite. Invite people who you want, who you know are big thinkers, invite them to this event, and I guarantee you that they will come back on fire and ready to sign up with you. No questions asked, okay? So the sooner you get these tickets to these events, the cheaper they are. Believe me, I know, and Hamoudi, I'm sure can probably even attest to that, because they did, Hamoudi and Micah did go to Cabo this last week, but they waited to like later on to book that event. And it cost them probably, I would say 30% more than it cost me when I reserved early on. So if you guys are interested in this, the website is buildevent22.com. I'll drop that in the chat for you guys to see. And the other one that we have is let me see, where did I do with it? I think I had it here. Okay, here it is. Yeah, the other one we have is the Exp Shareholder Summit, which is in Orlando, June 19th to June 21st. This is obviously, you guys are shareholders, you guys are owners of Exp Realty. We're a publicly owned company, publicly traded company, but we're also agent owned, which means that every agent here, whether you own stock in Exp Realty or you plan on selling one property at Exp Realty, you're going to be a shareholder, which means that you can go to this event. It's a great networking event. It is an opportunity for you to see some of the people, some of the leaders, some of the big thinkers at this company, rub elbows and learn some things. But I will tell you that there is nothing like going to one of these events like I just went to in Cabo, like the one in Dallas. Why is that? Because these events are usually smaller, more intimate. These events such as like the EXPCon in Vegas or the shareholders event, these are bigger events. These are massive events. So it's still, the energy is like no other, but you don't really get that intimate feel like you're bumping into the same people all the time. You know, it's different, but they're all valuable. So whichever one you guys can attend, maybe it's because of the time of year or maybe the price of cost or whatever it is, look into both of these events. This one is expshareholdersummit.com. I'll drop both of those into the chat so you guys can have an opportunity to look into that. Let me go ahead and drop them now before I do forget. And then see which one is better for you. Has anyone been, okay, so you know what? I have a few people here who have been to some of the events. Tammy, can you tell us about the event in Puerto Rico? How was that for you? That was a small event. That was a very intimate event. That was only 50 of us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. It was amazing. It was just, the energy was different. It was just to be around people, like you said, in a company that's taking it to another level.
Yeah.
It challenged you, and I love challenges. So for me, I really enjoyed it. I just can't wait to go to all them other events. It's just the timing for the other events is not in my timing, but after, you know, like I said, we close on this house, I'm open, I'm going everywhere.
Yeah, there you go. Amazing.
I can't wait to be in the room. Like when you guys was in Vegas, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be there. But I just love the energy and being around people. That's where I want to be. So
Sure.
yeah.
Awesome. Ivania, I don't know, she had to go. Ivania was in Las Vegas with us, and you know, Ivania is doing amazing. There's a lot of people here who have been making, and keep in mind, guys, no one here says, oh, I have to go because I have this money burning a hole in my pocket or in my bank account. I got to spend it before it's too late. No one is saying that. For everyone here, whether they have the funds or don't have the funds, there's a lot of reasons for them not to go. Either they have kids, either they have responsibilities, they don't have the money, all of the money. There's always a reason not to do something. There's more reasons to not do something. There is reasons to do something. But if you've always been doing the same thing and always been rationalizing the same way, and you haven't grown, maybe it's time that you start telling yourself, maybe I should start thinking differently and acting differently for me to get different results. I'm just saying, I'm not telling you guys what to do with your money, but this works for me, and it's worked for a lot of other people. So yeah, I know I'm taking up a lot of your time today, and I just wanted to leave you with that. And does anyone else want to share or leave us with anything before we close out?
I do, Louis. Last week, you mentioned me in the circle at the beginning, and I want to introduce to you one of the newest members of my team. She's here in my home today because we're working on 3 big projects. Her name is Tanya Miller.
She's a firecracker.
She's like an N80, and she is licensed in 2 states, broker. I'll let her introduce herself, but I'm very happy to have her on board, and she's already been able to plug into the last part of this meeting. So Tanya, would you like to say hello to the group?
Hello, everybody in EXP. I am so excited to be aboard. I was with EXP in 2020, but it was the right company and the wrong time. But now it's the right time, the right company, and I'm going to excel to the top like an eagle. And it's good to fly with the eagles, and that's why I'm with this company.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here, Tanya. Congratulations and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, Brent met Tanya at a realtors event. I was like GRI.
Graduate Realtors course.
Yeah, realtors course. So like I said to you guys last week, if right now you guys are not that busy because you know business is tough right now, take some courses, meet some people. You never know what's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Good gets better.
Yeah.
So one of the benefits of this training for me is it's been probably over a month, Louis, when you challenged us that day, hey, invest in yourself. And so that landed on me. I went to register, and the first coffee break, I told you last week, somebody saw my name tag. That ended up with, as a result of that, 3 people are joining my team, and Tanya's one of them. So thanks, Louis.
Oh, no, thank you guys. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and close out, guys. And thank you everyone for being here. Dear Lord, Father, we thank you for having us here together, Father. We thank you for allowing our family, our EXP family to grow and thrive. We thank you for the ability, Father, to meet every week and not complain about the things that are not working, but always look to the things that are working and always look to the opportunities we have every single day, Father. My Lord, we ask you to forgive us for anything that does not serve us and does not serve you. We ask you to please allow us to learn from our mistakes and learn from the things that are not benefiting us. Father, we also ask you to bless our lives financially and also spiritually so we can bless those around us and we can help people who really need it. Father, we ask you to bring us back here safe and sound in one piece next Monday. And also for everyone who could not be on this call, Father, please take care of them and also have them join us for next week. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Amazing week.
Great day to everyone.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.